Good night, everyone. We're back at it again on Truth Unmatched. Tonight would have been the 4th episode. And our topic for tonight is... What's the topic? Just give me a minute, let me find it. So pin the topic in the type section. So tonight's topic is... Do most men marry purely for love, or does timing guide their decision more? Again, I'm going to repeat the topic. Do most men marry purely for love, or does timing guide their decision more? So, in other words, right? Do men marry because they are in love, or does time what? Or does time guide their decision more? So, in short, we are saying, do men marry because they're in love, or they marry because it is the right thing to do, or that they are ready? Right? Okay, Janet. Pin it now. On it. So yes, tonight's topic is, do most men marry purely for love, or does time guide their decision more? So do you think men nowadays are marrying only because they're in love, or are they marrying just because of time? It's the right time. It's the right time. So that's what we're going to be discussing tonight. Do most men marry purely for love, or does time guide your decision more, or their decision more? So that's what we're going to be discussing. So for the persons who are just joining, invite them. So do most men marry purely for love, or does timing guide their decision more? Could also be, do men marry because they're in love, or they marry because it's the right time? Yes. Based on the stage that they're in life, they believe that now is the time. No more. Tired. Let's stop jump up there. So yes, so tonight's topic, do most men marry purely for love, or does timing guide their decision? Alright, great. Right. So if you're just joining us today, so if you're joining us tonight, if you're joining us tonight, the topic for tonight's episode is, do most men marry purely for love, or does time guide their decision more? So in short, we're asking the question, do you believe that men in Jamaica marry because they have found their true love and they're in love, or they marry because they may reach a stage in life and they must say, this is the right time, and whoever is that woman within their right time, they just go ahead and marry? So that is where the topic will be centered. That's what the topic will be centered on. So that's our discussion. That's where our discussion line will come from. If it is that you want to participate in the discussion, you can always go ahead and call the WhatsApp number on screen. We're going to put the WhatsApp number on screen. So if you want to share in the conversation or the discussion, you can always call us at the WhatsApp number is 3851 390-3496. WhatsApp number 390-3496. So again, persons are joining. So we're going to be repeating the topic for tonight's discussion. This discussion will be centered on, do most men in Jamaica marry purely out of love or for love, or do they marry because it is the right time? All right, and so that's what the discussion will be centered on. And so we're going to wait until we have some other persons in the live, and we will start the discussion. So, what do you think, Justina?
All right, I'm going to, based on the topic, it should have been some men marry purely for love, because there would have been, I believe that men some because they might find the person with whom they're in love with, purely in love. So therefore, it doesn't matter what this person does, him still gonna stay. However, I also believe that some men marry because sometimes because of church, you know. So church might dictate, listen, at a certain age, or if you do make a certain step, then the next thing would have been marriage.
Oh.
So yes, it can be both ways. So some can be married because they're in love, while some just marry because of the right time. So whoever they are with at the time, then that is the person that's gonna get the ring. You know what I mean? So they mean I love.
Okay, and some men also are of the notion that they marry because they're purely in love. They have found the girl or the woman of their dreams. And so once they have found this particular person, then they feel as if this person is the right person because they are in love. They're overly in love with this person. And so they think marriage would have been the next step to secure this person. Okay. All right. What are the men out there saying? Do you believe that? But let me ask you this. You made a point saying that you have some men who, in our relationship, I'm going to say it another point as well. For me personally, I believe that some men, of course, they marry purely for love. Them see one woman, what them like, what them love rather. Listen me, I say like. They would woman for a time, and the woman possess the particular traits that is becoming of a wife. So she's a good
material.
cook. She seems to be a good mother. She would be a good mother. She's a good finance person. And so this man says to himself, you know what? This girl is the girl for me. And so they said, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. And so he puts a ring on that girl's finger. And of course, it is then left to say that he is in love. And that's the reason for the ring. While I understand that, some man marry woman not because they're in love, but because they want somebody that can help them share the things them. Because think about it. In a Jamaica world now, let me just put this. This is a disclaimer. I'm not saying that I'm correct. We can count on our fingers the amount of men who marry solely for love. You know, feel something?
Right. Yeah, of course.
So if we were to do a survey, then we would say that maybe 30% of these men marry for love. Because yes, and what is alright? If we are going to be saying, if we're off the premise that these men marry for
purely for
love, what are we saying?
What I believe that we're saying is this, because purely for love would have meant that it doesn't matter what. So for example, you might, because men are love based on how you look. You have some man like you have and love you have and she have the right physique, and so chances are they might first be in love with probably how you
what you look like.
You look, right. So for them to extend it to another step, to be purely in love. No, sir? Marrying for purely in love, it means that it doesn't matter how this woman might look in 10 years or 20 years down the line. Or it doesn't matter what this woman do to me. I will still stay. I will still be in love with her.
Oh, I understand.
So it should have been just purely love. So we love her. So therefore...
So what I'm getting from you then is that if you are in love, you marry for love, if it is that one, you cannot live without this person.
Right.
You can, as you said, hi, as you say, Sandon, as you say, hi, Rayton, as you say, as I said before, you can't, this person has to be a part of your life. Because if they're not a part of your life, then you feel as if you're not in existence.
Right, you're not living.
Exactly, and so you can't live without this person.
So you're in love.
Yes, and so you're in love. Okay, all right. You have some men, however. We're going to be looking at the other options. So, all right, let me ask you, which of the two options are better? I'm going to be repeating the topic, and then we're going to decipher if either of the option is better than the other. So the topic says, do most men marry purely for love, or does time guide their decision more? I'm going to put the topic in another way. Do men marry because they're ready to commit, or they marry because
they're in love?
They're in love.
All right, let me just say, because some men, let me just put this scenario to you. You might be with a man also for 10 years, 20 years. So, let me not say 20 years, because in 2020, I'm not with a man so long. But let me just say 4 years. You're in a relationship with a man for 4 years. Things might have happened and you break up, and then 2 months down the line, you find somebody else and then you hear them get married. Is that, are you say that
he wasn't in love with you? Would that be a conclusion from what you're saying?
No, it might be a case that the timing probably was
not correct
when I was there. Because some man believes that at a certain age they must be married. Even some women, they believe so, okay, then career first, and then after this I'm going to start a family, and at this age, before I start a family, then I want to be married.
Oh, I understand. So that means you're definitely saying then that some men postulate a future date in which they want to see themselves getting married.
Yes. And women do it as well.
So say for instance, you are with a man who believes that at age 40 he's ready to commit. That's all. So say for instance, you were with this man when the man was 20. The man turns 25, 26, 27. But remember, because the man has a date in which he sets himself to get married. No matter how you wash, cook, and clean good, and do the things them good, the man will not commit to you because he's not ready. It's not the right time for him. So say for instance, at age 39, or remember the man commits to get married at age 40, So say for instance, at age 39, you and this man ends up breaking up. He might take up another woman, and in 2 months he goes ahead and married to this woman. And the woman that didn't get the ring may ask herself, Tasha knows better than me. Tasha can't do this, Tasha can't do that, no, sir? But we just have to understand that some men proposing themselves that, yes, at the age of 36, I must be married. And so sorry to say, girls, women out there, so sometimes you may be with this man, and because he has a postulated date out there, a date when said, this is a time when I will get married. So no matter what you are doing or what you have done, then this man will not commit because it would not be the right time for him. And so that's the reason why when you're in a relationship, you must have discussion. All right? You have a man, 2 years in the relationship, you realize, say, you do the things them, but you realize, say, not now go on for you. You and this fellow need to have some form of discussion, and to say to him, honey, I realize that we've been in this thing for 2 to 3 years. I don't see what is happening. What is happening? Aren't you ready? Don't you see me as the person that you want to commit to? Say for instance, him say, I'm not ready. Then your next question should be, then what are you waiting on? Right? When will you commit? If it is that he cannot provide you with an answer, ladies, don't stay in a relationship for 10 years with a man who's not willing to commit. That's why I encourage discussion in relationships, so the premise can be set. It makes no sense. You sit in a relationship for 5 years, and after 5 years, you have the discussion with the fellow, and the fellow is still not ready to commit. You now then say to yourself, all right, then I'm not ready yet. According to honey, it is not the right time. Okay. Howell Rose says, some men are just marrying for sex. And that's true. I like your point there because I was a part of a denomination where, you know, you have young girls and young boys in the church. And of course, you know that once you're in Christendom, you cannot engage in sexual intercourse unless you're married. And so what the young men usually do is this. Guess what? Pastor say, I can't touch any lady until I'm married. So what I need to do, I want to commit fornication, I just grab a female. It doesn't have to be the female that I'm in love with, because at that time, that's true. Because at that time, you know, so what your urge is to have sex, is to go on that playing field. Thank you, Ro. He says he don't believe any woman should stay with a man past 2 years without commitment. I agree with you. And so, as I said before, you have some men in church who are most of these young men are to have sex,
getting married for sex.
Exactly. And so because
the marriages are not working, they're not in love, you know, they're just doing it for sex. So I don't think this is not my personal belief. I don't think men married purely for love. There are other things that they marry for. They might like the person, or they might like her traits, what she, you know, she look like she's a wife material. But I don't believe men out there marry for love. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's just
no. Some men
marry pure for love.
Yes, man. So I believe. Can remember, you know, just remember you have some men. Talk.
You have some men, but it's your point.
You have some men who I believe, because you can't not call them on them. Some men will find a female maybe in 2 years, find out that him like the things about this female. Him realize
he might find the female in 2 years, like what the female, the traits of the female, and will get married purely for love. However, some of these men marry because it is just the right time. Just like us as females, or just us as humans on a whole, we set certain targets. And so by a certain age, you want to achieve this. And I think marriage is one of them. Marriage is one of those achievements. Because as women and men, you want to marry before you reach a certain age, because you want to enjoy the marriage. So yes, so timing is an issue as well, because it's a factor as well, because it has to be the right time. Because come on now, when you see most of these marriages might last if you get married too quick, like too early, like when you're mature. I say them not lasting, but there's a likely chance that over time, when I get tired of each other.
That's if you didn't marry for love.
Good if you never married for love.
But if you had married for love, then ultimately you would have seen yourself being compatible to this person. This person would have been someone that you can't see yourself living without. Rayon. And so of course you'd not be tired of this person. Howell says, right, so 2 years after marriage, things starts to go haywire because it was not genuine, but was for sex. Okay, so let me ask you then. So you're getting the understanding that of some men marry for love. You know, we can put it on a percentage and say 30%, and then the remaining percentage marry basically because other different reasons, for sex, for church reasons. You're in a church, and you know. It's in church, in Christendom, it is believed that young men and young women should get married. Guess Ray, he said some men marry because of love. Did you know you can know a person in 6 months or a year, and you know that person is the right one to commit and settle down? Of course, I believe so. I don't understand why some men tend to stay so long. You're in a relationship 2, 3, 4, 5 years. How you wait, pan?
And then yet still they don't know whether or not they want to be with that person.
Yes. And of course, you know, they are saying that, and are we of the belief that men marry the woman who is around when he's ready to commit than the one he's in love with? We're going to bring out this discussion a little bit more. Question. Howell has a question. Can you grow in love with someone?
Yes, you can.
You believe so?
Of course you can grow in love, because many times when you start a relationship, you might like, you know, in love with the person, you might like something about him, but over time you will grow in love.
So okay.
It's like a tree, you know, it starts somewhere.
Say that again.
I'm saying that for me, I believe love is like a tree. You can grow in love. You can. Because initially, come on now, I'm sure when I'm in a relationship, I love the man from the get-go. Never. It is never from the initial stage I see someone, I say, someone in love with the person. No. It will start at I will like the person. And I will like certain things about the person. But over time, you would realize that the like starts to mature into love. So yes, love, you can grow in love with someone.
Okay, I understand.
What do you think? Do you think you can grow in love? Do you think love is something that you can grow in love with?
Well, I'm going to agree with you because, as you said, right off the bat, when you meet someone, you can't say that you're in love with the person.
But but let me just suppose there is a notion that you say love at first sight. Do you believe in love at first sight? Can you love somebody just by seeing them for the first time?
No, I don't believe so. I don't know. What do you say, Mr. Owell? Do you believe in love at first sight? We're going to also...
I would want to experience love at first sight. I've always heard about the notion like that, but I'd really want to experience love at first sight. Sometimes you watch these movies and you realize that two persons just meet up in each other and then buck up in one another, and you just realize that you would have seen stars that would have been how they portrayed. So I'm just saying it would have been good for me to buck up in somebody and fall in love at the same time.
Okay, all right. So you want to experience that experience?
Yes, okay. I want to experience love at first sight.
Okay, we're going to be extending the conversation a little bit further, right? So the discussion tonight is, or the topic tonight is, do most men marry purely for love, or does time guide their decision more? We presented opinions on both sides. We believe that yes, you have some men out there who marry because they're in love. As Mr. Owell rightfully say, you can meet a person and within 6 months, you are in love with that person, within a year, you are married and you can't live without each other. And so that would make you madly in love with each other. So the marriage would be purely on love. Whilst on the other hand, you have persons who get married for different purposes. Mr. Owell interjected that you could have a marriage based on sex. Some persons married because of money. What do you say about that?
Yes.
Think about it in Jamaica nowadays. You find some girls with some older men that could be called their fathers. Of course, these older men, they want to feel young again. And so they engage in a relationship with these younger girls and, them propose, and the girls accept the proposal.
Yes, but let me just suppose some of these girls might be in love. Remember now, just like we were talking about time. I'm a young girl, right? I might be looking for certain traits in a man. So I might not be able to find these traits in the age group, in men within my age group. So I might buck up in all of them big man here, old man here, and realize, yes, he's giving me what I want at the time. Remember, no timing would have been for the big man. So therefore, there would have been things about him that I love. So even if he proposed, age wouldn't have been a barrier there because I would have loved this man. So I don't think age would have been a barrier because I think age has nothing to do with love. We might say that the man is too old and something we are, but me believe so. Some of them, don't get me wrong, some of them girl here are just some daddies them a look. They don't really love the man them. But me believe sometimes some relationship with older men and younger girls. I think some of these young girls are truly in love with some of these men.
And it's vice versa. You have older women with younger men. And you're saying that some of the in some of these situations, do you believe
love exists,
that those younger men or those younger girls are married for love? Oh, okay. All right. Mr. Owell is saying that he believes in love at first sight. Wow. So you hear? So you want to
I want to experience love at first sight. I want to buck up in my soulmate, yeah.
Okay. And you not just want to buck up in him. You want to, the moment you meet this person, something must twinkle in there and say, yes, this is
just
him.
like the Alma movie them, man. When they watch a movie them, people them buck up. When I say buck up, I don't mean we literally lick heads together. I mean, I see him and he sees me and there's this lightning, striking.
Instant connection. Yes.
Okay.
So Mr. Owell says, yes, Johnson, they can be in love, yes, but not with the old man, but with his money. It is the old man's money they're in love with and what the money can give them. I believe so too, because that's why I asked the question. while I understand that, yes, you can meet somebody in 6 months and you love this person, I don't believe that there's any love existing in a relationship with an older man, a man that could have been her father or his mother, and there's love.
And why don't you think that love is, of course, people, of course,
I want to juxtapose the situation. So say, for instance, that man was broke. He didn't have any money. Do you believe that those younger girls or those younger boys would want to engage themselves in a relationship with that man?
Well, if love is there, then yes. But if not, you're asking and I'm answering, right? If it is for love, it is if the relationship is based on love, then money is not a barrier. But as Orwell rightfully said, many of these when you see the relationship between older men and younger girls, it is just purely on money. It's not really love. It's a love for the big man's money. We understand that. But I'm just saying, I don't think love have a barrier. Has a
boundary.
Yeah, so you can't in love with big man.
While I concur with you, I don't believe that love has any boundary. And yes, you can find yourself falling in love. You notice me say falling in love, which means you'd have
growing in love.
Yes. You'd have been in the relationship with this old man, realize what this old man can give to you. And because you don't want to come out, you don't want to work.
But we just said that we get married for different reasons. Love might be at the bottom. Money might be at the top. Sex might be in the middle. It's just the reasons why we get married.
Okay. We're going to be extending the conversation a little bit more. Okay, so we are saying that, you know, if Jamaican men marry for the purpose of love, or do they marry because it's the right time? What about this? Can you say that some men marry the woman who is around when they're ready to commit and not necessarily the woman that they love?
Yes.
We're extending the conversation to this point. Do you believe that some men in Jamaica marry the woman who is around when he's ready to commit and not necessarily a woman that he loves?
Yes, because sometimes we as women suffer with these men. Sometimes I take up a man, him not work, him not do nothing, and you start out the man. And as soon as you are not there to enjoy what you'd have put in, but he just get up, left you, and find someone out the road in a list. You might spend 2 years with him, 3 years with him, and suffer. I eat dumpling and
butter.
And butter. You know, I bounce it out, I be the ride or die. But yet still, when he just left you and him break up, and him go to a road, 2 months down the line, he find somebody and they get married. Okay. So of course, time.
So which one is better then? Which one is better? Is it safe to say that men who marry the woman who is around when he's ready to commit is better than the one who marries for love?
Which one is better? I'm not thinking of them better.
What is one of these options better than the other?
Well, I don't want to marry based on love. I really don't want to. And then let me tell you, remember, as I said before, it's kind of tricky because remember, timing would have been that everybody said times. That's all. You want to achieve certain things, and I think marriage is one of those achievements. Because at a certain age, you want to be married. You don't want to be 50 and single. Nobody wants to be at 50 and single. So therefore, you would have set some timeline based on what you want to achieve. So for me now, in my mid-30, right? Me, I said, no, girl, by a certain age, you have to get married. So therefore, it should have been based on who I'm with at that time. I'd want to tell him, say, listen, me I get old in that age now, me think say, me need to commit. There must be some commitment at a certain time. So yes.
Okay.
Time.
So which one is better? Is it
I just said what I would have wanted. I want to marry for love. Me don't want a timing thing because at the end of the day, even though we said time, me think say love supposed to transcend all time. No,
exactly.
So therefore, I just want fall in love with somebody and we get married. This time and achievement, okay, by 20 or 30, I'm supposed to know.
All right. So let me. I'm agreeing with you, Mr. Howard. You're saying if you don't marry for love and you marry based on timing, then you won't be happy. So let me ask you another question. You're saying that you want to find your Prince Charming. You also said that you wanted to experience the feeling of love at first sight. Okay. You also are saying that you are also of the opinion that when you want to get married before age 50. Let me ask you another question. So you're on both sides. You want to get married within a specified time, but you also want to get married out of love.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. All right. You're not of course, you're not married now, right? Do you have a specific date, specific age in which you want to get married at?
Of course, everybody when me know of a specific age. Me past my specific age, but me not think say. I don't think all is lost. Of course, I do. I wanted to get married by I was and around 30 thereabout, but you know my age don't come up on the calendar yet, so there's still hope. I'm still there looking for my soulmate. You know, so I'm find him when I will for time.
So that means then there's another question coming to you. So since you had a specified timeline in which marriage should have taken place, it has not yet taken place, and so you're still searching for that person who is willing to commit.
Right.
Let me ask you. So say for instance, we're going to put an anecdotal record out there. So say for instance, then you are in a relationship with a man who is at age 40, right? You realize, say, you know, you love him, you start falling in love with him, but you start falling in love with him, but you realize that this man is not having any discussion pertaining to marriage and so. But remember, your age for marriage would have already passed, right? Could you stay with this man until he's ready to commit?
So you're saying that I realize that I'm falling in love with this man.
You are falling in love with this man, but he's not ready to commit. Are you willing to stay in a relationship with this man, even though you would have passed your time to get married, according to you, until this man is, remember I said the man is 40, until the man is ready to commit?
But, well, let me say.
Or you'd start another relationship and hope that you find another man who is on the path where you're going, who sees that, realizes that he needs to commit and commits right away.
Well, if I'm falling in love with this 40-year-old and he's not ready to commit, well, the discussion would have, are you saying that would have already made that?
You went to him and you said to him, honey, you know, I realize that, you know, you are going up in age and I'm up in age. Aren't you ready to commit? And he says to you, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think this is the right time. I'm asking, in a situation like that, would you stay in that situation?
Well, then if he's 40 and I would have passed, if we would have had that discussion and he's still not ready to commit at 40, then it would have been a waste of the relationship. Because I believe that this is my personal belief now. But think man at 50, 40 now, supposed to be married. If you are going into a relationship with a man who is 40 and he's saying that he's not yet ready to commit, then what is it? I don't understand where I look for. What kind of commitment am I look?
No, hold on. He may not be ready to commit because for him, maybe his age to get married is 50.
Oh, I see.
Because remember, everybody has different age in which they want to get married. You know, according to you, you should have gotten married already. But this man might believe that he still has time in order to be married. And so, would you stay with this man or you start over a relationship?
Well, to be honest, I would have started over that relationship. We're not staying in a relationship with a man who is 40. Then if that means that his commitment time is going to, if the man is not ready to commit, this means he has no intention to settle with you and he has his mind elsewhere. Of course. That is so true. Well. Because remember now, at a certain age, I believe that commitment would have been part of the thing. So if you are at 40 and you're not ready to commit, it's obvious that your mind is elsewhere. It could never be on me. So of course. So remember now the topic, do most men marry purely for love or does time guide their decision? That's the topic for tonight. That's what we're discussing. So opinions, we would have had persons who said that they would have set timelines based on, so he wants to marry when he has no, exactly, because I'm saying I believe that persons must be able to enjoy their marriage. Me not married when me all angry and me know so okay, me can't enjoy my marriage. That doesn't make any sense. I think you're supposed to marry at an age that you are able to enjoy the marriage. It's not even the wedding that is more important, it's just about the marriage. And then too, there are some men who married for sex. Cause you know, sometimes when they're in your church, you know, these young people are part of Christendom, and they get married. Them so little, what you call it? They sell it to men in church and little man in church, and them like the man, and them get married purely for sex. And you know how Christendom go already. You can't you have a sex within marriage, or else you commit fornication. Some of them commit fornication anyway, but the Bible, you have a sex within marriage, no sir? After you take up the young man and the man take you up, not the sex not good, and so the marriage really doesn't work, because that was what they married purely for sex. I've heard of a scenario where there's this man that was married, and he shared his story that he was married, but he didn't like how his wife, like he wanted to say that his sex life was not so great. The wife was doing everything else, but the sex life was not so great, and he was asking whether or not he should go out, because he was saying that every time him and his wife have sex, he's remembering his past relationship, like his past girlfriend, and that him I remember when him and his wife have sex. So some of these men, when they marry, of course they marry purely based on timing. So do most men marry purely for love, or does time guide their decision? Of course, some of them married for love, yes. As I said before, I'd really want to get married purely out of love. And because me now wait until me I'm 50, but me I get married, no. Well, even though the time that I would have set to be married is already past, I still have hope. Me not too far. It just passed with it. And then there are men only who gets married purely out of because of money. So of course the woman might have the other part things and she have a lot of money. So therefore you get married only because of what she can give you. Some of them marriage don't really work, because guess so after a while you don't really love the woman, you just love her money. You just really love the money that she can give you and the things that you can buy with the money. And so some of us marry purely for that as well. So let me ask the persons who are here, which one of these are better? Marrying for love, purely love, marrying for sex, marrying based on the right time, you know, something in a church and you know it is the right thing to do, or marrying for money. So Michelle is saying, I know of someone, people need to marry themselves before they get married. Until marriage is understood as a portal to absolute freedom, it will not work. That is so true, alright. People need to marry themselves first before they get married. Of course, I totally agree. I totally agree. Because if you don't marry yourself first, then how will you understand what marriage is about? That is true. Michelle, I know someone who is young and married to someone older. It has partly to do with her choice that he is mature and not as a giddy head as the one her age group. I know she loves him in her own way. In her own way. In her own way. I know she loves him in her own way enough so that she recently did all that was possible so that she had children for him, and two, she attends church, but their relationship was before church. Of course, of course, people, their marriage work for persons who are older and younger, of course. So let me ask another question. Which do you prefer? As I said before, which do you prefer? Do you think marrying for pure love because you love the person is better as opposed to marrying for money, marrying for sex? Or marrying based on the timing, based on timing? Do us as women set time? Do we have a timeline as to when we should get married? Or we just know, so okay, anytime we soulmate, anytime we find our soulmate, then we will get married? Do we as women set timeline as to when we are to be married? Right. And it goes for the men as well. Do we set timelines? Does marriage have a timeline? So Michelle was saying that she has known of a situation where an older woman gets married to a younger person, and it has worked.
Yes, I mean, because I'm assuming that marriage was centered on love.
Yeah, purely on love.
Yes, so remember we are here on the two sides now. We are saying that yes, persons sometimes marry because they're in love, while others may marry because of other reasons. Reasons as we mentioned before, sex,
right
the right time, finances and so on. And so when you find a man, the man gets married to the woman, and you know it lasts, and we can say that it was based on love.
So yes, marriage really work if it is done based purely on love. Some of them work when it is done purely on money too, you know, because remember now, if the money doesn't run out, then the person who gets married based on money, then they will be happy. It is only dependent on what you get married for. But as I said before, I want to get married pure based on love, because I think love lasts a lifetime. So please share your views on, do most men marry purely for love, or does time guide their decision? Do you think sometimes some men are in church because of Christendom, they are forced into marriage? Because sometimes, you know, I have known of a situation where there was someone in church, and she had our person, he was not yet baptized, and chances are, you know, come on now, she got pregnant and she was forced into marriage by the church. So some of these church forced the marriage, you know. So it is not, some of these marriages are not done purely on love in a situation like that. And just because, okay then, yeah, in a Christendom,
it's the right thing to do. As in church, in Christendom, you have to have a husband if it is that you are living. Remember, there's no common law in church. And so even if you have the man, you feel as if the man is not the right one for you, you still have to look into him to see what other traits he may possess. The church dictates that you need to get married in order to stay in there.
And then some of these young people, sometimes why the church force the marriage is because chances are they might have sex and then get pregnant, and because it's going to look bad for the church. Because I've known of situations like that as well. Marriage is not done based purely on love or money or sex or whatever, but based on the circumstance. So the timing wouldn't have been an issue there, because these young people, them never necessarily want to get married. I know of a situation where we're in college. Remember, I was speaking to a colleague of mine where they were in a relationship. Like two of them were in college, and them in love, or they were having a relationship, but because the girl's mother was a pastor, once the pastor found about the relationship, they were forced into marriage, and it didn't work. It never worked. Right now they're divorced.
Because guess what? You have to marry when you can't just jump and just get married. So because you know the reason persons may want to be associated with being married is because you get more respect. Some persons believe that in today's society you are more respected when you're called Mrs. or Mr.
This is true, because it happens in the workplace. When they get married and them announce, okay, she has become Mrs. now. So therefore you get more respect. The principal respects you more. The boss respects you more, because now you're a Mrs. So yes.
Alright, I'm going to be reading some messages pertaining to the topic, right? Remember, the topic is do most men marry purely for love, or does time guide their decision, or they married when it's the right time? Somebody say, it's true, 100%. I loved a woman more than I've ever loved before, and I just didn't feel ready, so I never acted on it. Years later, I'm ready, but she's planning her wedding.
Okay,
Panda. Comment. So he's saying, he met a woman, he loved her more than how he ever loved nobody. But according to him just never ready. It wasn't the right time. And so guess what? The relationship mash up. You know what? When him ready, she already have to get married.
Yeah, she's now planning her wedding. Well, don't say show me for reading. Let me read another one. Wait. So it says, so I'll put my opinion in. I was on a road trip, slept off, woke up, and for the first time in my entire life, I felt it like it is time. Let's do this. I scanned through my travails in relationships and one stood out. She wasn't per se the one I loved most. She simply was the one that not only tolerated me for me, she knew how to reflect my demons. Within 2 hours, I had gotten her number, having lost touch for over 4 years. That was just over 10 years ago. We are now married with a son. Many finer, many this and that. It was when I was ready. It's true.
She was it when I was ready. It's true. So, of course, you have some persons who marry because of love. And some men about to wait on the right time. You get one woman, you realize that within a year, the woman, the woman is has a trait that you like. You know, she do the things them. Nobody wait till 5 years and the woman get tired and another man take her away. Because when you ready, you know, the one, because remember, no, do you believe that a woman will turn down a man if he proposes to her when she's ready?
Yeah.
You believe so?
I love him. Or she don't want him.
Woman turn down man because they don't love them?
Yeah.
I never see that in Jamaica.
People turn down proposals, of course.
Every proposal me see the people
them say yes.
Yes.
Me,
I've never seen a I have never seen a proposal.
Alright, let me ask a question now. Alright, since you have never seen a proposal that a person, what if you are in a relationship with a man, right? You know you don't really love the man.
But may I get things?
So are you saying that you would marry for things?
Then
a marriage is a lifetime and it's hard to get out of marriage.
I'm listening. Continue the question.
So you're in a relationship with a man. So since, because I would turn on a proposal if I know that the man is not right for me. I'm not going to take on somebody who me definitely know say, it not going to last.
We don't want to embarrass the man. Remember, men always do proposal in the public or when them care for, you know.
But it's best that I embarrass him than embarrass him 5 years, 10 years down the line.
No, some women accept the proposal and, you know, maybe not the private, them say, honey, I don't think I'm ready.
I not accept it. Why would I accept it in the private? Then people are going to think, say, I get married, no, sir? But not fool him. If me know, say, but I just make him stand up. Me not going to say, no, I'm not going to say, no, I don't want to get married to you. No, I will subtly, I do the thing, but I'm not going to make it.
So you're saying that you turn down a proposal because you're not in love?
Yeah, no, listen. As I said before, I want to be married for the right reason, and that reason is love. Money have to be part of it and things and stuff, but me not really want to marry for money. Because at the end of the day, when the money goes, then what? Me I left with a broke man.
No, you left the man can find another rich man.
But I'm saying it's hard to get out of marriage. So if you're going to be going there in the first place, just let us go there for the right reason. So it is love.
I agree with you.
It is love. It is love in a cup, you know, not just love alone full it up. Love and other things after the part of it.
Steve Daly says, Stefan Daly says, I will do a private proposal. When the time comes, I will marry the right person. Okay? So you're saying that your proposal won't be public, Stefan, because you don't want no woman shame you. You understand? Because as I was telling my sister, every proposal I've seen that I've looked at, I've never seen where one woman say no. So and some persons don't like to publicize their relationship, you know. And so some persons, you know, prefer to do their things privately. So if you're embarrassed, at least you would have been embarrassed privately. Another message says, I've dated for 2.5 years. I've never acted on it because I was just about doing me. I offered me an ultimatum and it just didn't sit right with me at the time. But looking back, at the end of the day, all she wanted to do was make me her husband. Ultimatums don't necessarily work though. Appreciate you. So, let's comment on this. You, as we were saying earlier, you have men who you like a relationship private. Okay, great. You have some men who give themselves ultimatum. Guess what? I'm not get married till I'm 30. I'm not get married until me rich. Me have the things there. Me have a house. Me have a car.
That's how we are. We
have
ultimatums based on everything.
Me have this. Me have that. And so sometimes the right woman comes along, you know, and the woman wait for you. You know, give you time. She say, you know, pull up your follow grounds, and she say, you know what? This not go nowhere. So girl, just elope. And when girl elope and find the right person for girl, at that time when you already know to say yes. Commitment time, you know. Guess what? You find yourself with a woman where you may not love, or this woman not love you. And you don't have the woman 5 years back, you know, we love you, and they just wait for you to say, honey, will you? Without the marry come out, just the ma. She say yes without the sentence being completed. But you wait and you wait and
because there's an ultimatum, and you're saying that it must be done based on this time. So remember now, we're saying ultimatum doesn't necessarily work. Because sometimes we might say we want to get married by a certain time. So what we're here saying, once Prince Charming come along, if you can get married, just go right ahead. Don't wait until certain age. Because it doesn't work all the time.
That's why the discussion needs to be... You need to have discussion in your relationship. Discussions, when I say discussion, I mean, when we're going to the relationship, remember, as my sister rightfully said, nobody not going to a relationship because they want it for relationship's sake. There's a purpose for it. Marriage. Everybody want to be things them. That's all. So, within a year, I must sit down with my partner and say, honey, what is happening? Aren't you ready to commit? I mean, I think I'm supposed to say it to you. But since me have to come to you, I'm going to come to you and say, honey, what's happening? Why is it that you're not ready? What's happening?
Yeah, because from the get-go, the relationship must be defined. If you want a committed relationship, if a fun you intend to have, it must be defined from the initial stage. So after a year, you're not going to just get married at the initial stage. You have to get to know. Because remember, you're not in a relationship as you meet it in there. You're not in a relationship with somebody that you just met. You start dating, and then after a while, you guys are in a relationship. So as relationship progresses, it must be defined. You must say what you want out of it. I don't think a person should be in a relationship 5-10 years and it is not discussed as it relates to marriage. That doesn't make no sense. So remember, the discussion tonight is, do most men marry purely for love, or does time guide their decision? Do you believe that men in Jamaica nowadays are marrying for love, purely for love? Them love out the girl, everything about them, everything about the woman? Or is it they're married based on the time, certain age, or because of Christendom, right timing? So do most men marry purely for love? So then you're purely in love. And women, I need to say this. If you need to force a man to marry you, leave him alone. Because we not force no man for that with we. So a woman go gozo, black magic, put black magic on the man, so all of a sudden the man never didn't love the man, all of a sudden, oh, heads over heels. Tie the man.
Tie the man gearing. That, you can't be happy in that.
Will not work.
Do you want a marriage that is unhappy? Or you want one way, you're happy night? Yes. So people, women out there, do not force the men to give you the ring. Do what you're supposed to do as females. So men, do what you're supposed to do too. A man. Nobody put no ultimatum on her life. He say, alright then, me don't gotta get married, me at 40. So the woman did that, and 2 years, 29, and year 30, you have enough years.
Certain time is just,
do you.
Certain time is playtime, and then there are other times that are committed times. So if you're not there within the committed time, then you're left behind. Because sometimes you pick up a man, I'm just telling you, listen, I'm just here for fun. If you know some fun you want, just move along.
But that's not a relationship with somebody where you know, say.
You know what I don't understand to some of these women know that the man. Sometimes I really don't understand. I've read scenarios where we as women go into relationships with men that we know how they are a female, no sir? Are their wives. And then expect that these men know that are married will leave their wives for you. Because you say, oh, I mean, prefer. You are not going to gain anything from that. He's already married. Whether I'm happy or not, if he's not happy in his marriage, that is the reason we said they marry for certain purposes. Sometimes they marry for love, and that's why they cheat so much.
And yes, men and women, if you find, this is for men first. You find one woman, you realize that this is a woman for me. You know, sir? Like, see, like we're in a church, and your person is married for love. You find a woman, you realize that one of the traits you love. Nobody wait too long. Because what serve, wait too long, serve many masters. So if you realize that this is the woman for you, right away. Nobody in no long waiting. Because guess what may happen? You may wait too long, the woman goes away, and then when you're ready for marriage, you find yourself with a Jezebel. You start reminiscing and say, Jesus, Father, come in the front and go to me, have that one good woman, and she just wash, cook, clean, and skip for you. And this is Jezebel and I do nothing.
Just true.
So you find yourself heartbroken because I guess the woman now sit down and wait for you, you know.
So when you find the right person, don't take advantage.
Let me read another scenario. It says, I'm 27 and I've been with my girlfriend for 6 years. You so long? She has been pressuring me to marry her, but I thought maybe this is just not the right time. In May 2017, we broke up because she couldn't take it anymore. We have since been trying to get things going, but sadly, she's no longer interested. I think I will live my life a sad man forever since I never took the chance to marry her last year. Now I believe I will marry any woman. So, you see? Because we will tell ourselves that this have to happen in a specified time. This have to happen just like when women have baby. Me shift it. Of course, you know, so in a perfect situation, you see? Because, you know, of course, you know, we want to achieve things in our life. We want career and we set up ourselves. But sometimes they have some roadblocks.
Of course.
But I said, John, no road.
It's not the right time. It's not the right time.
It's not the right time. Boy, this is going to set me back in on. This is going to do this and this is going to do that. Yes, so understand. Remember, everybody has a blueprint. And so whatever happens to you is a part of your destiny. Right. So, men, you find a good woman them. No matter wait too long till the woman gone. Men, women as well. Come here, shift it too. You have woman will find good man. You remember the situation we know? Yes. Where the man went overboard for the woman. And the woman give the man one baby. You know what? The woman, what woman do? They are married. They are married. And the say the man went up and above for this woman, you know, because the man madly in love. Took the step of marrying this lady, and guess what? The woman never loved the man. No. Stefan says some women just like to run in a relationship before they get to know each other and their personality. Some relationship is not healthy because some man just want sex and really, right? In relationship, exactly. And a relationship cannot be based on sex alone. Yeah, we understand. Sexy, after a night and so, but it's not. It should not take over the entire relationship. What else? Then when it is that I am not able to do that,
when it is your time of the month, then what will happen? Because no sex not gonna happen. So if you're in a relationship purely based on sex, that means that sex is going to happen 24/7 right around the clock. Because yes, you might like it, but as it relates to your time of the month, then what happen? There must be other things in relationship outside of sex. So get married for the right reasons.
Right.
So if your reason is for money, then go right ahead and find a rich man. If your reason is purely on love, then fall in love with the right person.
And exactly, and as we're saying as well, don't wait until you're ready to commit. You just get what the woman who you're there with or the man who you're with at that time, you just marry. Because if you do that, if you marry, if you find yourself marrying,
then you're married
within the time specified and you're married to just anybody, you'll find yourself in problems.
You're not going to be happy because you're just married because it is the right time.
Because there's another issue here. It says, I married a woman who helped my heart heal when the woman left me for another guy because I wasn't ready. See? So we end up marrying the wrong ladies. Because guess what? We have the good woman in our life, you know. And we don't know what we on. Is it that? No. You know why some man don't want married to? And they want the right time. Because some man knows that when they enter in a marriage, things,
the contract.
Yes, and the things then split up and so. And through they want the things then for themselves.
Yes.
Yes, then with all. I'm ready, yeah. I'm ready. Make myself some more time. And if you find out a woman have the same thing like me, so anything then split me not feel away. So if you have a relationship with a woman who may not be working as you are, I may not be earning as you are, I may not have had the assets that you have, you might feel like, oh, I'm not ready. She brought her out and she want to come marry me.
And some men will not get married because their hearts are elsewhere. So that you and them are in a relationship, but they're in a relationship with another person. So how will they get married to you?
Exactly.
Married means that it's going to close all of the other things. You know, because remember now, if you get married, if you are there, you are in a relationship with me. It doesn't prevent you from, you know, seeing Jane over there. Talk, you know.
Right, and that's the reason we have so many persons marrying for convenience. You go up on farm work. Oh, me can't come back to Jamaica. Oh, me turn foreigner now. So I'm married for convenience. Stay. Married for stay. Remember, you don't like the woman, you know. But true, you have to tolerate her because she gets stay. Woman beat you day and night, but you have to withstand the beating because guess what?
You didn't marry for the right reason.
You didn't marry for the right reason. So men out there.
And it might be the right reason at the time. Because remember, you wanted to stay. It's just the desires of her heart at the time. Because if you got a friend and you want to stay and find like a young man and say, okay, business, marriage, wedding, then what prevent the girl? Better life you look and so. So you take it on. It would have been marriage for that reason at the time. But as it would have been what you want to get married for. So people marry for different reasons, you know. Young people in church might marry for sex, so they will sex and more. They're sexing within marriage. If you are,
and it's okay.
Yes, because that's the reason why they wanted to get married in the first place. And that's the reason why those marriages don't work, because sex should never only be the only foundation for marriage. Some people marry finances. They find a rich man and, oh, I forget the things. How do you? So you marry. But will it last? It is the last. Marriage must last a lifetime. Will it last? It will not. So after a while, you want to get out and then you can't get out, because guess what? Yeah, in order for you to get divorced, there's a lot of runarounds and a lot of things. You have to get lawyers involved.
Okay, I'm going to be sharing another experience. I said, I met a woman at 19. She was 21. She was someone I immediately saw as more than just a friend, and I made that quite clear. So there was discussion in that situation. While our feelings were mutual, she was a little wary about taking things to the next level due to the age difference and culture differences. She became my best friend almost instantly, as we would text all night and day. As I was a morning person and she wasn't, I would feel like my day was yet to start until she had woken up. Eventually, the mutual attraction became so clear that evidently we couldn't be friends. So, 3 months in, we decided to be together. At the time we were both different. We were both at different points in our lives. She had just finished her degree and I was just starting mine. I had to make sure I was ready to commit to a serious relationship, and if not, I wasn't going to waste her time. Almost immediately, she became my everything. We were a team. My problem we would face together. She was my best friend. The point is, I wasn't at any point trying to convince myself to be ready just so I would miss out on a great girl. I became ready when she came into my life. She was the person I wanted to be with, and it was up to me to meet her needs in whatever she wanted in a man, and not just a job to wait around for me. So it says, it doesn't make sense to me to walk into somebody else's life, then ask them to wait around for you. Why would you wait? I think the statement is true, only because being single is so glamorized, some men don't realize how amazing being with someone can be. I can never imagine being with someone else. I could never imagine going one day without speaking to my best friend. It was the best choice I made in my life. So the man has said, it don't make no sense you wait around. Where you wait pan? What are you waiting on? So, we're going to wrap up the discussion for tonight. Stefan said, okay, we're going to be wrapping up the discussion for tonight. So, alright, the topic was, do most men in Jamaica marry purely for love, or does time guide their decision more? We looked at both sides of this circle, and we were able to delve into the reasons why some persons marry. So, are you going to give a call to action tonight?
Yeah.
So, ladies, it is imperative that you have a discussion within your relationship. Don't wait until 5 years in the relationship. You're going to be saying, oh, ask the man, what is it that we were planning to achieve in a 2 years of the relationship? Aren't you ready to commit? And if him said no, it's not the right time, then get moving.
Exactly.
Find somebody who is ready. Because me not see why a timeline should be in it. We find the right person, boom. We get to know the right person, boom. We're ready for married. What we have upon?
Exactly.
So yes, and do not go ahead, ladies, and marry for
wrong reason.
For wrong reason. If you don't love the man, and you love the man, things them, it not gonna last. Because when the man realize that you are only there for his things, then the relationship are done.
And when the man things are no more, then what will the relationship be like? What will the marriage be?
And that's the reason why we have infidelity in the marriages. Because guess what? You're going to one marriage, you love the man, you love the man things them. So what you do, you take the man things and you have another young man out the door. Where you have the extramarital sex with. When the man find out, he kill you, because guess what? The man may have married you for love, but you
married him
for love. You married for him things. So it was a pleasure having this discussion tonight.
We hope that you join us next week, because this discussion is normally done on a Saturday at 8 p.m. So next week, please join us again, as we are going to be discussing another riveting topic.
Right, your participation was well appreciated this evening. Do have yourself a blessed night. Bye bye.